appreciate you, Monica. I love you. Thank you so much, sweetheart. What does the collective need to know, Spirit? What are the messages for the collective? Thank you so much for the gifts, you guys. What does the collective need to know right now, Spirit? What are the messages for the collective? What does the collective need to know right now? What are the messages for the collective, Spirit? All right. There we go. Wow, it seems to me like we're breaking free from cages. So there is some cage that we were put in and we're breaking free. We're now empowering ourselves to take back our power, take back control. This really feels like stepping into some sort of independence. I do see a little bit of a detachment from somebody here. So this could be a friend, this could be a family member, this could even be a partner. And it's not to say that it's a painful detachment. It's almost like, hey, I focus too much on everybody else. I'm going to bring this internally in. But I do see that there is detachment from people here and us just focusing on ourselves. There's a breaking free from a cage, because it almost feels like whatever this was, it was very like slow to fill your emotional needs. Right? Because it's going to look different for everybody, but at the core, it was slow moving in fulfilling emotional needs. And I see like right now, it's like you're looking for reliability. You're looking for dependability. You're looking for someone to be your rock. It's like, hey, if I'm going to pour into you, I need to trust that you're going to have my back if I need you. Because I'm here like for you, but are you here for me? Right? And I just feel like for most of you, you're like sitting there and I feel like you're pulling back your energy. You're holding back your energy because you're starting to realize that like you want more equal give and take. And so if they're not showing you anything, you're pulling back your energy and being like, all right, I'm going to focus on me. If this is like a relationship, like you're in a relationship, I just see that it's like the partner that you do have has some behaviors where they're very inconsistent with you and they like doing things their way. And like, because they're so focused on their way being the right way, they don't see an issue with the way you guys are moving. But for you, you're not getting your emotional needs met, and they're not comprehending that because they're viewing it through their lens, and in their lens, they don't need the emotional stuff. So like things are good. It's fine the way things are, but for you, it's not so fine. And you're like, hey, look, I need somebody who's going to be my rock. Like I need to depend on you, not just me being like pouring into you and then not receiving anything. Like here I am making sure that your life is exactly what you want it to be. But then like for me, I feel very alone in ensuring my own happiness is fulfilled, right? So you're pulling back that energy and focusing on your own happiness because you're like, it looks like I'm responsible. Like I got to do it because it's not like they're going to pour it into me. So I got to do it. And in doing that, there's a little bit of detachment here, but I do see that this is a healthy detachment. Even a relationship, it almost looks like it's bringing balance to the connection. And it's going to allow the healing to happen because there's a lot of disappointment, and the disappointment comes on the expectations of like expecting your partner to really help build something up with you, and they're not building. And so there's a little bit of disappointment there, and it's just because there's so much expectation put on your happiness and fulfilling the life, like perspective of life that you want. So if you're like, I want a happy home and a happy family, you're working your butt off to make sure that like your partner is happy so that you have the happy home, the happy lifestyle, but that necessarily isn't the case. Now, if you're single and talking to somebody, right, especially if this person is a heavy fire or earth sign, I do see here that it's like it's hot and cold energy, and you wish that they would just be consistent. You also feel like sometimes you get two different versions of the person. I think that's just might be the hot and cold energy. And you're looking to see more emotional vulnerability and more poured into you. And what I'm going to say here is like you want commitment, you want wish fulfillment, but you almost feel like this person is not giving you any insight as to what this looks like. So it's kind of sitting there being like, are we moving towards commitment? What is this? Like, I can't really tell. When you do try to address it, there is a little bit of like joking around and getting off topic. Like it almost feels like they want to talk in circles, not to address the situation at hand. But you really, really need to know the answers to this because you're looking at your future. You're looking at the new year coming. You're looking at building. And it's like, hey, I don't want to go into the new year carrying out like the same pattern, right? And I'm going to say that if you're completely single, I do see that you're focusing on yourself. There is somebody from the past that you're wondering if they're coming back in because they did disappoint you. But spirits ask you to build your own confidence because this is about a transformation for yourself, and to have enough courage to go through this transformation. And it's a transformation that you have to do in isolation. So it's almost like I explain all the time on here, the caterpillar to the butterfly. It is a painful stage, but I see that here. And if you're not focused on somebody from the past or you're completely single, I see 2 options coming in, but I see around February time. So let's see here. Anything else for the collective? So that's in love. I'll let you guys know if I see anything else. Anything else for the collective, Spirit? For finances, you're making smart moves, okay? Right now, you're reassessing things. You're taking a hard look and you're trying to figure out, how do I really master my life? How do I master my finances? How do I master my payments? How do I master buying that house? You know, like you're looking at your goals, and this could be like something for the new year, but it's like you're actively looking at your goals and you're making plans and you're trying to be strategic. Okay, I'm tired of the life I'm living. I want more. What does that look like and how do I achieve that? So there is a little bit of motivation happening because you just want 2025 to be different, right? You feel like things have been slow moving. You feel like it's just been delayed, whatever it is that you're looking for. So now you're kind of being motivated to make shit happen, right? Like it's being empowered to be like, okay, I'm sitting here waiting. Now it's time to get moving. Like now I got to do this. Now I got to figure it out, because if I wait for miracles to happen, or if I wait for these doors of opportunity to come, I might be waiting forever because I feel like you have been waiting. So now you're like ready to kick down doors, you know? So you're trying to make a plan. You're trying to be strategic and figure out like, how do I gain back control of my life? How do I make it so that I don't have to rely on anybody else? And how do I make it so that I can alleviate the stress and anxieties in my life? Because I do see overwhelming anxiety and stress, and you're just wanting to break free from this, okay? And especially like the winter, you tend to get really stressed out and anxious, but it almost feels like just being very challenged. So this could be seasonal depression. This could just be the holidays, but family. But this time of year is very challenging for you, especially with the life that you want. So it almost feels like you're being forced to take like a hard look at exactly what's not working out, right? So I think that Spirit's putting us under a pressure cooker to have us really take a hard look at things so that we can like fully let go of it and walk into 2025 with a game plan, and like a game plan that we like consistently take action towards. Okay. Oh, that's a smart move, Ashley. Show me more. Show me more, Spirit. Show me more. Yeah, a lot of you guys are in the process of manifesting. A lot of you guys are getting clarity on what needs to be done so that you can manifest in 2025. But it does come from letting go of patterns, right? Behaviors from the past. It's almost like programming, right? This is like psychological programming here from childhood. This looks like a survival mindset, honestly. And this also looks like a program of you not feeling lovable and you feeling like you got to depend on yourself only, or you're going to be alone forever. Like there's an aspect here of you having to do it yourself. You having to be by yourself because no one is going to come save you. And there's aspects of that is great to have in a mindset of like empowering yourself to make shit happen. But then there's a spectrum to it, because then now this becomes very toxic when you tell yourself, right? And this is part of the program you're breaking free from, where it's like, I have to take care of it myself because no one's going to do it for me. You know, I don't have anyone to save me. Or I'm going to be single forever because it looks like every time I let somebody in, I'm like disappointed. They don't want me, so I'm unlovable. So there's a programming here that Spirit's asking to break free from. It's like time to rewire your brain, time to heal. And they've been putting in a spark. So each of you have been feeling some sort of spark to change this, either to work on your health, to work on your physical appearance, work on your confidence, work on your money, work on letting people in, right? Like working on those trust issues. But I will say that it is coming with a lot of emotional purging. So even with that being activated, I feel like it is also purging emotions. So you may be very emotional at this time. You may be crying a lot. You may be overwhelmed, and it just feels like a surge of emotions come to the surface to purge so that you can allow the rewiring to happen, because you cannot move into 2025 with the same thought patterns you had in 2024. It wasn't working for you, right? So if you want something different, you have to like do concept work, you have to do shadow work, you have to change your perspective in things here. They want you to move into 2025 with more confidence in yourself and more discipline, right? Because you don't need anybody, you don't. But you're not supposed to live a life where you cannot have someone there, right? So that programming where you're telling yourself that you can only rely on yourself, that is not for you. They want you to be confident enough in your ability to take care of things if need be. But we're not meant to be alone in life. We're meant to rely on people. It's a collective consciousness here. And so it's about rewiring the brain and being like, those were my experiences. I'm not my experiences. Just because those have been my experiences doesn't mean it's going to be my experiences. Because what happens is when you own your experiences and you take it in as a narrative, it becomes the narrative you use to see the future. And so when you have that negative thinking moving into the future, all you're doing is manifesting that, right? And so Spirit's saying like it's time to redesign your mindset, right? See from a clear perspective, not one that is blinded or illusioned by trauma and toxicity from the past that wasn't yours to carry to begin with, right? You've learned the lesson. It's about learning the lesson and leaving it in the past and no longer allowing it to cloud the lens you use to see the world from, right? Don't allow your experiences to rob you of your future, right? Especially when the experiences are toxic, are traumatizing. I'm not saying the good ones, I'm saying the negative ones, right? Because they will rob you of your happiness. For some of you, I do see some longing to travel here. So you may be saving up some money for travel in 2025. I'm going to be honest, I'm seeing like a lot of wine in 2025 as well. So if you're a wine drinker, I see a lot. Like, I don't know if this is just a winter thing, you wanting to have more glasses of wine. I just see like curled up inside with a warm blanket, a glass of wine. It's like that season. I am seeing that. So I'm going to mention that. For some of you guys, I also see like synchronicities, spiritual symbols of chickens. So I don't know if you've been seeing chicken symbology around, but they're showing me that there is a message there. So if you guys have been asking for a sign with chickens, this is it. What else here? 2025 is going to have challenges, right? Because it's about you breaking free from obstacles that you've put in place, right? So these are obstacles of your own doing. You will be pushing through and breaking through from it. Like it's like a breakthrough. On the other side of it, there will be manifestations after April. But from now until April, this is about like really finding a way to break through the blockages and roadblocks that you put there yourself, right? And so it's about taking the logical steps. So if you're not organized, this is your time to be organized. If you're not a planner, this is your time to plan. This is about really getting down and, you know, getting into that Virgo energy, which freaking makes sense because the South Node's going to go into Virgo. So Virgo energy is going to be at play. But this is about finding balance as well. I will say for some of you, if you are planning a travel next year, I do see like a month, either March or May. It's with the letter M. I see those timings a lot for travel here. But I also will say there is a lot of anxiety with flying because I'm getting heart palpitations. So you may need to speak to someone to get some assistance when it comes to flying, either some sort of medicine, see a specialist and see what they recommend. But I do see that here, especially if you're traveling alone, because whoever I'm seeing this does not like traveling alone. I see Germany, I see France. See Norway, Italy, Cuba. Do I see anything else here? For some of you, there's a heavy interest in astrology, either going into 2025 or starting now. I don't know. They didn't say it. Doesn't mean you're not. I'm just saying what they're giving me. There's a focus on astrology, so you guys might either be getting into astrology or putting more focus, or in 2025, putting more focus into astrology. There is like wanting to understand self and wanting to understand how to use astrology to predict things here. I see some of you guys in the medicine field, like medical field. So either you're going to school for the medical field or you work in the medical field. I do see an elevation there in 2025. So if you're in the medical field, things look good. Anything else before I wrap this up, Spirit? I'm going to be quite honest. A lot of you guys are struggling with your mental health. There's a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, a lot of mental disorders. 2025, you're going to be able to gain control over this. So you are being impacted by these mental disorders the end of 2024. It is creating a little bit of blockages for you, and you're not feeling your best self. You're not feeling in your element. But Spirit's saying after February, you're going to be able to take action and overcome it. So you will be in a better place, okay? A lot of the reasons why we're very uncomfortable collectively is that we have been dealing with a lot of chaos, and 2025 is a big unknown for us. And so because there's a lot of unknown elements moving into the future, it is making us very uncomfortable, which is triggering for us because we don't want to make any wrong moves. So there's been a call to make some decisions in 2024 and wrapping up of 2024. And we're very nervous about making the wrong moves. So we're trying to gain some clarity still. But we feel very stuck. And this is why a lot of the mental disorders have been coming up, or like has been elevated. Like even if you struggle from mental disorders, it looks like it's being like triggered at this time because of like when you're looking at stability, security, and foundations in your life, all of this is being affected right now. And you're looking at, okay, in this aspect of my life, what do I need? But it just feels like everything that kind of holds you in place has been shaken up in 2024. And it's almost like trying to hold a deck of cards up, like a house of cards, and making sure the wind doesn't blow it down, and like just trying to figure out, well, how do I ensure this doesn't happen? Because the scariest thing is what happens if it falls apart, like the unknown, right? And that's what's causing a lot of the issues with the mental disorders. But I do see here that even though it's been a year of painful endings, walkaways, moving on, letting go, it is going to bring on good luck. Because what I see is for things to come in, doors need to close out. You're learning how to ensure that you get exactly what you want out of life. And that means sometimes letting go of people who aren't willing to give it to you. Okay? I hope that helps. I'm sending you so much love, you guys. You should just say Lisa before you speak. I swear you're talking to her. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't remember what I said, so glad it resonated with some of you. "2024 was traumatic. Yeah, my stomach hurts because being an empath and constant chaos. Yeah. I feel this month is rough for me. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sending you guys so much love. I hope that helps. I hope you guys are getting something out of the collective read. Yeah, when I was going into my privates today, when I was like meditating